Welcome, this is where nerds come to learn things. If it's your first time here, click on the subscribe button and on the bell icon to get notifications about new videos. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoy it. Okay, right here is a iPhone 6 and as you can see it's got a completely smashed screen. I've been asked to repair this for someone. Now in the mailbag video I did recently, which you may or may not have seen I'm sure, is a replacement screen. Now these don't come with a home button or anything like that because that's tied to the phone. So you have to be a little bit careful about what you do with those, or transfer it all over. There's also no camera or anything like that, it's all mounted on here. So I've got to dismount things on the back of this screen, attach them to this one. I've never done a 6 before, so it should be interesting. We'll see how we go, see what we find. Obviously I've never done one of these particular phones before. It could be problematic, I really don't know. What I do know from looking at this is that you've got these ribbons at the top here, so I need to make sure these ribbons don't get ripped, so I have to fold the face upwards when I open it up. And what you have is pre-prepared is my little pan of ice, which I'll sit next to the phone and I can just wedge the screen into it. I'll slot it in there and then I can take the cables off, and when I do the new screen I can fit it, do reverse of that, slot it in here, hook up all the cables to protect it. So it should be a fairly simple process, we'll find out. So first things first, get the thing out of the cover. It obviously needs a better cover than just that because it didn't do the job, did it? I'm using a silicone mat here which has got, it's supposed to be magnetic up here, so I can put screws up here if I need to, in theory. I really use it actually. So let's find out what screws I need. Now these are pentalobe screws. And in this bag of screwdrivers and bits and pieces, I should have one. That is really not the right size. Let's just empty the bag out, it'll be easy. Hold on. That's across it. I think it's this one I need. Here we go, that's the right size. I've got the camera in quite close, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It is set to autofocus, it may be problematic. We'll find out. Right, first things first, try and get this cover off, or this screen off. But because it's all smashed, it could be a little bit interesting, because it might just fall apart. We'll see how we go, might get lucky. Oh, it seems to be coming up okay. It is bending a little bit though. Alright, come on, there we go. So that, although I shouldn't actually be worried about these cables getting damaged, I still need to be a little careful. I don't want to damage them anymore. So let's try and get this lined up. So I've got to take this cover here off, and since I have this screw obviously here already, where's the crosshead? I think this is not very good, this one, we'll find out. Yeah, it feels a bit rounded, let's get my own one. That's much better. If I don't lose the screw in the process. So it should be a fairly straightforward thing really. But because everything's mounted to the back of the screen, it makes it a little bit trickier. These tweezers are rubbish. Okay, let's pop all this stuff off. Let's get my less rubbish tweezers, but still not good. I should be able to then remove the screen. So there's 4 cables. Here we go. So now I just strip the screen down and transfer everything onto the new screen. So I've got to do the home button, and I've got to take the shield here off as well, because the flex is right at the back. So that flex there's the home button flex that runs up here. So I've got to take the shield off here, and I've got to transfer it onto this one. So it's a little bit of a delicate process, but it's not too bad. And I've got to do the camera assembly and what have you up here as well. So I've just got to be careful not to damage any of the flexes. I've had this screwdriver set for years, and it's actually been hard pushed trying to find something that works better. I did have another set which is like a longer shaft type. They're black ones. I've seen other people have used them, and those are quite good, but unfortunately I broke one of them or something. I can't put it now. I think I've lost one, and so I don't actually have a complete set. So I purchased these ones, which weren't a particularly expensive set. They're quite cheap, and they've actually done me really well. They've been good. They've got very little wear on them and all that, so that, you know, even these little screws, even though these aren't exactly the right size bits for this, they go in and they work. So that's quite nice. So I think all that's alright. There's a couple of shield ones here as well. So I'll get those out. I'll start at the bottom, I think. Try to do this in a nice logical way so I can better put it all back together. So there's that in free. Let's take the camera module off. Like I said, it's the first time I've done this particular phone, so this is completely new to me. I'm just figuring it out as I go. So if I'm doing anything stupid, which could be done better, and you know, from you knowing that from your own experience of doing these phones, please let me know. Okay, so that's there. This one should come off as well. It's got some like a locating pin on there. There we go. So I should pop this there. So we'll look underneath. So it looks like sort of the flex cable for the home button. Maybe I should look at dismantling this part a bit more. It looks like a connector. Is that a connector? I think it might be. Yes, it is. It's amazing how small this stuff is, isn't it? Can I then remove this? That's stuck down. Okay, it's starting to lift. There we go. Okay, there we go. So there's that. And now I just need to be transferred onto there. I believe. I've also got this camera assembly up here which I need to take off, because it's got this there. So it's this piece here. There's a flex here as well which I need to take off. I'll do the home button last. So there's the camera. That's earpiece, this is camera, which seems to be stuck. It's not a flex assembly, which isn't installed in here. Okay. So there's another thing I've got to be careful about getting out without damaging it then. How's that set up? So there's a piece of double-sided tape there too for sticking one down. Just need to figure out how to get this piece apart. There's a flex that goes around, just there. If I follow that down, I might be able to lever that up slightly. This is when having a bent screw tip on the tweezers is handy. Being a bit more complicated than I had envisaged. Of course, these things never are easy when you want them to be, are they? So that's the light sensor module. So that's what all this is being so fiddly. So I need to get all this out of here. And microphone as well, looks of it. So let's try and just gently prise all this out. Here we go. Some progress. When it comes to doing stuff like this, you never rush. You always just do it nice and gently. Take your time. If you're never sure, just don't risk it. Take your time. There's no rush. It's far quicker to take a bit of time being careful and trying to figure out how things go together and how they need to come apart again than it is to have to wait for parts to arrive from China for a few weeks. With that said, I'll probably end up fast forwarding this video a little bit to help the video. I'll probably skip some bits or something. Okay, start on the left. Here we go. Alright, there's that part there. Alright, so what do we have comparable? So we've got this flex here, we've got that flex there, which is this one. So yeah, that's all good. Now that's got the earpiece part already installed, which is stuck on here. How's that set up? It comes with rubber in there already, which is interesting. And this will need cleaning as well. This is the camera, which has been exposed because it's all broken, so that will need cleaning up properly as well when I go to do that, otherwise it won't end up working very well. So yeah. I just need to figure out this setup here, because that seems slightly different. And that's like the earpiece just there. Like that. So is there a difference there? Am I missing something here? Is that just stuck down onto the end of that? I think it might be actually. Yeah, okay, I can see what's going on there now. So that's the earpiece piece which was in that slot just there, which is already installed in this unit. Okay, which is why it's got that rubber piece just there. Now, that piece has that flex stuck down onto it. Alright, so I've got to lift this flex up off here and re-stick it onto the one here, which has got that removable tab on it. So that's fine. I'll just try and get under there and lift it off. Now I know what I'm doing. So I'll stick the tweezers under there and just pry that off. All looking like it's doing the right thing. It's all very fiddly work, but you know, that's what it's like working on phones. But I have to say, it's probably the hardest screen replacement I've done so far. The other ones have been much easier than this. Okay, there we go, there's that piece. So that's what I was trying to achieve. Now I can start fitting this back into here. Now this has this plastic piece here, which is from somewhere, right? I think it's from around the camera bezel there, but because it's all smashed in here, I'm not quite sure what's supposed to be there. I think it's just supposed to sit in there and it acts as a spacer. That's what I think happens. So I should fit that bit after anyway. So I'll basically just get the other piece in here. I have to ignore my cat, which is meowing because she's, you know, being a bit attention seeking right now. And now I need to get this piece here on there, and it's got a little dimple there to line it up. This little white pin just there, which it has to sit onto, like that. Press that right down. So there's light sensor, which didn't have anything special there, I don't think. Is there a trim? There's a little plastic trim in there. Is it in here? No. So I need to get a little plastic trim out here as well and fit that in. There it is. Just there. So there's no signs of any way of sticking that down though. I think it's just going to sit there like that. Okay. It doesn't seem to be lining up very well, is it right around? Pretty sure it is. That way around like that. Here we go. It's flicking off. Okay, it's going to sit in there. Yeah, it lines up better. Not sure about the adhesive side of things though. Doesn't seem to be there. Okay, so I think I can now push these bits in and locate those. Hope this view is close enough for you. Can get slightly closer, but don't have issues with focusing playing up, so it's probably best if I don't do that. Okay, so that sits in there. Those do line up and go in, and that's dropping in nicely, so that's good. So let's clean this lens up a little bit. I'm not actually going to wet it because you don't want it getting inside it, but I am going to grab a cotton swab thing and just brush the outside. Try and clean it a little bit without saturating it. So hopefully there's no bits of debris in the way or bits of grease and stuff like that. Now I've got this little surround here which I need to try and put on too. which fits somehow. To figure out which way around it goes. Probably only goes one way. That probably isn't it. That seems to make more sense that way around. Yes, it does. But again, there's no adhesive, so it's just going to sit there like that. Probably going to rely on the screws to hold it down. Okay, so let's try and line all these back up again. Pop the camera in. And start hoping for the best. Now, am I missing something, I wonder? Got a feeling I'm missing something. Because there's two locating holes there. Do they fold over? No? Not sure what the story is with that. It's got pads on it. What's that from? Oh, that's right, it's for this thing. It's for the earpiece part. I am missing something, aren't I? Earpiece, which sits right. This video is getting a bit long. I might pause this and have a bit of a break. I'll come back. Right, yeah, so that's a bit fiddly getting that back in again. And as I was trying to say before, it's trying to get all to align. It's a little bit fiddly. I'm not 100% sure that's in properly. It doesn't feel quite right. It's going in, but need to make sure everything's aligned. It appears to be. Yeah, I can see the pins there for that little flex. So the flex is obviously in the right place. It's all sitting okay. So I think what I can actually do now is actually screw this shield back into place. And then I'll do the home button transfer. Then we can plug it in, try it out and see if it actually works or not. That itself should be interesting. Now so it's not tying that one up, so I've got a bit of movement in there. And we'll put these screws in. Ignore the cat. She's hungry. She's always hungry. She has a brain injury. And you think I'm joking. No, she actually has a brain injury. She had a stroke or something years ago. And she doesn't realise when she's full. So she'll just keep on eating and eating and eating. So let's try and manage her diet. Wife does most of that. You've certainly done much easier screen replacements than this before. Certainly is the worst one I've done yet. Most complicated at least. Obviously it's not the same as having to like replace the LCD on the actual or keeping the LCD and replacing the glass. It's not exactly on that kind of scale of things, but it certainly is a little bit fiddly and messing around. Okay, so that's those all in. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is the home button section. And make sure that flex there is all stuck down nicely. I think it'll only go in one place anyway. Again, it's got a locator, I think. Something. Anyway, that wants to stick just there. So there's the home button, which I need to peel out again very carefully and drop it back in there. fingers crossed. This is the most important part. Don't break this. Sort of stuck down like they always are. Okay. Trying to break that last bit of adhesive without putting on a ribbon. I've got to pop this one out as well. Again, without breaking anything. Just nice and slow, nice and gentle. There we go. Right. Let's pop this in here. Just get it roughly aligned. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, that seems to be okay there. Just try and press that edge down. Make sure it's sealing around. That's definitely seated in the right place. So let's look in there. I'm not quite sure if there's some corrosion there or not. It was just some adhesive. I think there might be actually a bit of corrosion there, so I might just give that a little bit of a clean just there. Because it's not very severe, it's just the slightest little bit there, so I just want to clean that off. It's probably nothing, but so having the fact that had the broken glass means it could have got a little bit wet inside on this part. Best to make sure. Okay, still a little bit just there, I think. It's on the outside of this. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of corrosion just there. Okay, let's give it some more cleaning. I might have to get my fiberglass brush and just touch it with that. Yeah, it's looking better. You know, see something like that, it's best to try and deal with it rather than leave it and think, it's probably okay. Well, it probably is okay, yeah, but there's no guarantees it actually is. It's best to try and give it a bit of a tweak up. It's only seem to be on the outside of the connector. I think it's just on the outside slightly. Doesn't seem to be that bad. Yeah, it seems to be kind of okay. Let's give it a touch more. Just in there, seems like it's not as shiny as it should be. It's looking better. Okay, a bit happy about that. Right, so I thought I'd better set up this microscope here and just look at this connector before I put it back together, and because I'm not happy with it completely. So where are we? So that is the connector on the ribbon just here. That's the one which is on that ribbon that goes up to the top of the phone underneath that main panel. And here next to it, just there, is the one which goes to the touch button. Now, as you saw me doing, I was giving it a clean up anyway, so I'll just double check and make sure I've got it good enough, and checking the solder joints, that sort of stuff. So those look okay. Here, there's the tip of my tweezers. Yeah, it's pretty small, you know. There's a tip there. Let's get some focus slightly better. Alright, so you can see the solder in there, looks okay, it does look like they're alright. And the other side also looks like it's okay. You can see there's a little bit of discoloration still on like these two pins here. They're both still very slightly discoloured, but they're not that bad. There's no like obvious green or anything on there now, like there was before. These two top pins here, just there, might still be a little bit there, but I think I got most of it out. You can see where it's had a bit of a build up like in there. Let's try and get it. And those two pins there, no, not those two. This is very slow. Right, there we go, right there. So those two pins there, there's a little bit of debris in there still. There's still a little bit, so it's not perfect, but I got rid of most of it. And back to this one. See, I've got rid of most of it, but again, there's still some discoloration just here. So it's just try and point it out. So just there, you can see where the corrosion was, and it's not perfect. But yeah, it's not too bad now. It's mostly gone, but the solder joints on this side don't look the best. So up here, there's like some residue still between the pins just up there. This is tiny. I mean, there's my finger. Alright, but even, you know, with my eye I can see that there's a darker spot right there. With my eye I can see it, even without the microscope. So I know there's still some issues with this connector here. So I'm hoping I can get that cleaned up. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's get a Q-tip in there and just try and hold it down. But yeah, there's still a little bit of debris in there. It's not perfect, and I know Touch ID can be very fussy, you know. Yeah, so I just need a little bit of scrape with that and let's see if I can get it better. But you know, try and get back in shot. I'm a bit distracted by my cat messing around, climbing on things as it does. But yeah, it's not the easiest thing to get into, and it's absolutely tiny. But that all has to come out. I don't want any debris in there, because it does mate on the inner surface there. So anything that's inside the inner edge, in there, if there's any debris in there, then it's going to not work. So yeah. So I was trying to get a little bit of a scrape and get it better. But I'll give it a good clean up as good as I can, and then I'll put it back together. And hopefully the Touch ID will still work. But I'm a bit concerned about it. So obviously the other thing I probably haven't actually recorded yet, I've disconnected the battery. Right now, the reason for that is that you don't want to connect anything up to the phone with the battery still connected. Right, so I've actually disconnected it. Yeah, it's there already. Right, disconnected. I just didn't record that bit. In preparation for putting the screen back on again. It didn't matter so much taking the screen off. I mean, it's still good practice to disconnect it before you take the screen off. But you know, as long as you disconnect it before you put another screen back on again, hook it all back up again. That's the important part. So, but yeah, trying to get this all clean is being a little bit tricky, because it's right down in there and doesn't really want to cooperate. And again, I've got to be careful not to damage the connector as well. So you can see it's actually getting better just by me scraping. You can see it's got a bit more shiny there already, you know. So the fact it's discoloured means it's probably had some kind of issue anyway. You know, it may not have just been moisture, it might be something else going on, but yeah, I don't know. It's not the easiest thing to get on camera at the same time as I'm doing it, but yeah. Alright, I'll come back once I've got it all done. Alright, so I've done that as best I can and put that little connector back on again. I thought I'd just change camera view and see if it helps a little bit with what I'm doing, making you see what I'm doing. And so let's put the connector back on again for this. It looks okay under there. Fortunately my hand might be in the way. Oh, it's trying to loose. This isn't working very well, is it, for the lighting? Maybe I have to rethink this camera angle. Yeah. Okay. So that's the bracket on there. All that's ready to go. I've got all these cables set up in the order they need to be in. They have to be in a certain order, otherwise obviously you won't be able to plug the things in. So I believe I've got that correct. I'll find out when I go to plug it into the phone. So the camera and assembly are the bottom ones, and then we've got this other assembly there, and this touch button is the top one. Alright, so I believe that's correct. So they'll lay down in that order like so. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure about this camera angle, I'm not happy about it. So, yeah. So that's the plan, is they'll lay down like that once it's all put back together. So we'll do that now. Actually, I'm going to change the camera angle. I think I'm just going to get in the way, you won't be able to see anything. Okay, I've returned back to the original camera angle. Alright, let's put this thing back together, and hopefully I haven't forgotten anything, or... yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure about the Touch ID working. I'm very sceptical if that's going to work or not. Okay. As you can see, I've got the battery disconnected there, which I didn't show before, I didn't record that bit. It's quite an important factor, you should really do it. I should have actually done it when I pulled the thing apart, but I was focused on getting the screen off, so I often forget to take it off then. But it's best to always take it off when you can, before you connect anything else back up. Okay, so that's kind of in place. Let's try and lay all these down, plug them in. So I'll start with the top one. Get it lined up just nicely. It should just basically drop in and just click in very gently. Shouldn't have to force them. If you're forcing them, then something's wrong. They should basically just drop into where they're supposed to go. Okay. You must never ever force the things. Is there some corrosion there as well? Can't quite see, hold on. No, I think it's alright. In between the video recording, I talked to the guy which did the phone, and well, owns the phone, and mentioned to him about the corrosion that's in there, and he didn't understand how it was there. He said, well, it hasn't been near any water or anything. It's like, well, it must have been at some point, because it doesn't just get corrosion for nothing. That doesn't feel quite right in there. I might pop that one back out. Just get this. I think maybe it was alright. Yeah, just this end felt a bit higher, that's all. Appears to be in okay. Alright. Well, I did actually have the thing plugged in before as well, so it may have some charge in the battery. I think it should be fully charged. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The other screen wasn't really behaving, so yeah, no idea really. Yeah. It's got a feeling I'm forgetting something. Let's put this on, and then we'll go from there. Sitting a bit funny. Just let it sit where it wants to sit. Yeah, it's better than that. Just be careful about pulling those cables. Yeah. These are very fragile, so you have to be extremely careful with them. Right. Let's go for that one first. I'm not doing these up yet, I'm just getting them all fitted first and I'll do them up after. That's the way I do things. I know it's about his Touch ID, it might not work. And the guy that owns the phone is trying to remember what the passcode is for it to get in as well, because it does have one on it. Yeah, but he just can't remember what it is because it's been a little while since he's used the phone, so he's going to get back to me with that, so I might not be able to test the thing out properly yet. Okay, I set that in. Let's hook up the battery. I'll pop in somewhere. Here we go. No, no, no. That's popping back out again. Why is that popping out? Maybe it's just not quite lined up. There we go. Now it's locked in. So yeah, fingers crossed. So it's the first I've done one of these particular phones, as I've mentioned before. I'm not quite sure how it's going to end up. Okay, let's try it. So I did have the bloody thing plugged into a charger before, so when I had the thing sitting over to the side there, and I stopped the video and did some other stuff and had it charging. So I'm pretty confident it'll work, but I'm not going to put the screws in yet. Let's see what happens. Now you have a screen, it lights up. Got an Apple logo, so you've got something. Give me some of these lights. Does the touch work? I've already put the screen protector on as well. I did that too while I was messing around with other stuff. I just fitted it on for, I didn't want to risk scratching the screen or something, so I put that on already. In case you're wondering what that funny little line is around the outside. Okay. Oh, yep. It's working. I'm not going to push anything else, but yep, that's working. Button is working. Unable to activate Touch ID. Oh, that's not a good sign. Also, got no SIM installed because he hasn't been using the phone for ages. Also, he put in his other phone. Oh dear, no Touch ID. But touch is working at least. It seems to be okay. Oh dear, that's a shame. I still need to get that passcode off the guy apparently, so I can do any further testing. I don't know if the camera works okay or anything, I just don't know yet. Hopefully it does. So at least that's the screen replaced, so you could say that's a pass, you know, but yeah, Touch ID, I was worried about that. I know how fussy it can be about bloody behaving. See enough stories on the internet about that. So yeah, not surprised it's an issue on this one as well. 89% charge, that's not too bad, is it? So I'll probably just leave it as it is, and I'll wait until I get that passcode off the guy and go from there. Can't do much else now. I mean, I've done what I can with the Touch ID sensing. I mean, I've cleaned up as well as I can. So, yeah, it may still have an issue there somewhere. Maybe it's done some damage from the corrosion already. Maybe it's blown something, who knows. I don't know. The screen wasn't going before, so I got no idea of knowing if it's if that Touch ID was working beforehand, unfortunately. So if you liked the video, remember to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and click on the bell icon if you don't already have that selected in order to get notifications of my new videos, and give us a thumbs up too if you liked it. If you didn't, then give us a thumbs down, sure, but put a comment in down below as well saying why you didn't like it. I do want to get positive feedback and constructive criticism, if there is anything there. As long as it's constructive criticism, not just slagging me off, then that's fine, I'll listen. So, thanks for watching, catch you later.